Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with the man who's more often than not got his finger on the pulse in boxing, Carl Frampton. Carl, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay, mate. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. All the better for speaking to yourself. Look, we'll start with the headline main event. Look, Liam Davis versus Jason Connor. A touch of the Josh Warrington about Liam Davis in the sense that he's not really had the spotlight. Came through, in the small hall scene, kept beating his opponents, and then he got his breakout fight. Do you feel the same way about Liam?
There's a little bit of that, but I mean, he's still early in his career. I think this is his 14th fight, so what he's done already inside 14 fights is quite an achievement. He's had some good wins as well. The Bluto one really stands out. I mean, the Mark Leach one as well. I had Leach as the favourite in that fight, but he was very, very good, and he beat Leach pretty convincingly. Bluto was a good win. Jason Cunningham potentially could be his toughest fight. Not really a lot of pressure on Jason Cunningham at this stage of his career, but both guys seem confident. David, I mean, different characters. Well, Davey seems extremely confident. Cunningham's just a bit more laid back, but that doesn't mean he's not confident. I think this is going to be a cracking fight. Probably went under the radar a wee bit because of the massive fight that is on in the same night in Las Vegas. Crawford and Spence, obviously. So, yeah, I think it's got all the ingredients for a great night.
You get the feeling that, look, whoever wins this fight for the British and European titles, there's a big gap between this level and then the world level. The likes of Inoue, who defeated Fulton earlier in the week, and Tapales as champion. We'll start off with Inoue. Look, you feel like he'll unify and become undisputed at Super Bantam?
I think so. I think that looks like the next plan. I mean, I going into the Fulton fight, I know Fulton quite well. I've had him over for a couple of camps, and he's a good fighter. I thought that I kind of always fancied Inoue in the fight, but I didn't think he would be so dominant. And he hurt. Fulton looked like to me that he was fighting on fear from early on in the fight. Not really trying to commit with his shots until he had to, and then when he did have to, I knew he kind of took him apart even more, and it suited him. So it's going to be difficult for the boys because, I mean, once you win a European title, the obvious next step is maybe one defense and then push on the world titles. But if Inoue is to fight the other guy with the two belts, Tapales, if he's to fight him, there's going to be a bit of a delay before the world titles are all available and you can fight for one of the world titles. And then, do you want to fight Inoue if you get the chance? So I mean, that's obviously the next step. You want to move on progressively, but I think you may have to kind of hang around at this level for one or two more fights than you would like.
Moses, a lot of talk about Moses on the scene. He's looking to take that fast path to success, and it feels like if he keeps succeeding, he will be on that fast path. He was over in Granada with Dubois training for Usyk. Look, a lot of people are essentially writing off Dubois' chances against Usyk, which is somewhat harsh but somewhat fair considering the Usyk's ability. Are you in the same boat in thinking this is a tough task?
It's a tough task, absolutely. I understand why people are writing him off, but I give him more of a chance than I think other people are giving him. He's a big puncher, but whether you land on Usyk, that's another story. Look, there's a favourite in the fight, and that's certainly Usyk. But I think Dubois has been written off completely, and I think it's probably a little bit unfair. If you look at Usyk as a heavyweight, he had the fight against Chad Witherspoon. I mean, that was okay. Chisora, he didn't look great, and then he had the two fights against AJ, but you kind of have to ask the question, what version of AJ was that as well? So Dubois, I'll have no pressure, underdogging into the fight. I'm not saying he's going to win it, but I feel like he's been unfairly, completely written off, really. I mean, there'll have been bigger upsets in boxing if Dubois does pull it off. Just because he's a big man, and he is a heavyweight, he's athletic, he's explosive, he's powerful. And as they say, in them divisions, one punch can change a fight. And the thing is with Dubois, he could be a mile behind, and pull something out of the bag. That's the dangers of heavyweight boxing.
Top of the heavyweight division. Look, a lot of controversy with Tyson Fury taking on this Francis Ngannou fight. A lot of people saying that the world heavyweight champion, the lineal champion, should be obligated to fight a fighter within the rankings. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, it's the fight that we all wanted to see was Usyk fight, and for whatever reason, speaking to both sides, will give a different argument as to why that never happened. But this is just, it's, Fury's going to make a hell of a lot of money to fight Ngannou, as is Ngannou to fight Fury. But does Ngannou have a chance? I mean, that's a fight where you can really write off an opponent in that. I don't think Ngannou has a chance in the slightest to win. Almost, when you listen to people, you would almost think that people are giving Ngannou more of a chance than Dubois against Usyk, which is baffling to me. But that's boxing, and that's the boxing world at the minute. But disappointed me personally that Fury is fighting an MMA guy who is having his first professional fight as a boxer. But he'll be making a lot of money. I think if he just comes out and just says, I'm making a lot of money here and it's an easy fight for me, people would be a bit more open to that rather than the whole narrative of, game changing and all that sort of stuff. I don't think it's game changing at all.
No one would ever begrudge a fighter for taking the most, that's on the table. But I guess the issue is that when Tyson Fury made his comeback, the fans all rocketed him behind him and pushed him towards the top as much as he pushed himself there too. And he's maybe in danger of losing that fan favour, which has carried him throughout his career.
Yeah, look, he's got a bit of stick, and I think a lot of it's been justified. But look, he's a big guy, and he can take it on his shoulders. Tyson Fury's Tyson Fury. Does what he wants, really. And he'll earn a packet in this fight. It won't be competitive. So, I mean, the thing is, you got to say, if the big fights can't be made for whatever reason, and you're offered to fight a guy that comes from a different sport and earn possibly more money than you've ever heard, and that's saying something because of the fights that Fury's been involved in, then, you have to take it.
A couple of final things for me. I know you're busy and you've got to brush off soon. Look, Anti-Joshua, a lot of comments made. It seems like he can never really win, first of all, because people want him to speak more, and he speaks more, and people are kind of hounding him for it. But these comments about McCracken have kind of stirred some controversy within the boxing public. How do you feel about those comments?
Look, I think because he's such a name in the sport that he's always going to get criticism, and sometimes it's unfair, the criticism. But I suppose that comes with the limelight, and he is a huge star. And one of the issues is that, when you're successful and you're doing well, people don't really want to see you doing well because you're doing better than them. So that's one of the issues. But he's still got a lot to do. I think he's kind of going on his last couple of performances. It looks like he's caught in between two different styles. He's definitely trying to change things a little bit. And fair play to him, but I think that going off, I suppose, White and AJ, their last performances weren't anything to shout home about. Both of them will need to be better. I think they will be. I think there's needle and grudge in this fight, and I think that it's going to be an exciting fight while it lasts.
I'm going to put you on the spot, so I apologise in advance. I don't want you to come on the wrong side of John Fury again, but Tommy Fury is taking on KSI. Are you picking Tommy Fury this time round?
Yeah, I think, look, I mean, I'm not really into this sort of stuff, this YouTube boxing type thing, and that's what it is, really. They can call it professional boxing if they want, but, I mean, it's not really, but you can't really give them too much stick because they're making an absolute fortune, and Tommy Fury, a professional fighter, is fighting a guy who, made his name doing videos on YouTube. Albeit that he's training, he's had a few fights. But if Tommy wants to do anything in the sport, like these fights with these guys, they shouldn't even be competitive.
It was an absolutely wild moment. I don't know if you saw it in the last Misfits press conference where some guy threw hot dogs at like a religious Muslim. Did you see that?
I read about it, but I mean it's just silly. It's stupid, and something like that is more than silly. Obviously, it's racist and everything else, and but. That doesn't, I mean, boxing and boxers are crazy and a bit mad sometimes, but that doesn't happen in normal boxing. and this is what happens when you get a circus involved. So
let's go back to the actual traditional boxing. Let you go. Last question. Are you shooting off Spence versus Crawford? Your prediction?
For Crawford, fantastic fight. I think that both guys, I love them. I mean, an amazing fight. Both have a chance. A lot of people are edging towards Crawford as I am, but I think Spence has almost been written off unfairly. I just think that Crawford's a bit of a genius, though, and I think he will find a way to win.
Appreciate it, Carl.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Mate.